Imagine if the cure for 99% of diseases is within you. You can find the cure for 99% of diseases within your body. You've probably heard the expression, the gut is the second brain. Do you know why? The gut is responsible for much more than just digestion. It sends direct signals to the brain that influence your mood, immune system, and ability to fight diseases. Your gut health can determine whether you live a long, healthy life or suffer from chronic illnesses. Allow me to introduce Dr. Irom Shina, a medical genius who has cured some of the sickest patients. Shina believes that death is caused by the gut. Putrefaction in our bodies is the cause of most diseases. Foods like meat, sugars, and processed foods not only rot in the intestines but also release toxic substances that poison your organs. Here's the good news. 99% of diseases will disappear when you stop the rotting of food. Isn't that incredible? Watch this video to the end. I will offer you an extraordinary gift, a simple yet extremely effective recipe to cleanse your intestines of all those toxins that could make you sick. Before we continue, I'd like to ask you a question. Make a mission pledge, not with me, but with yourself. You can leave the phrase "I can do it" in the comments section if you're truly determined to improve your health. It might seem silly, but this simple act has enormous power. Your brain activates a process known as commitment confirmation when you write this phrase. When you publicly declare something, you commit to keeping that promise. This increases your chances of success, and I believe you are capable. Before continuing, write "I can" in the comments section and share this video with everyone you know. The teachings I will share with you are unparalleled and can transform your health in ways you can't even imagine. The gut is more complex and essential than many people think. It's not just responsible for digestion and absorption, but also plays a vital role in balancing the body's various functions. This ranges from mental health to the immune system. Many experts, including Dr. Irom Shina, believe the gut is the source of death due to its significant role in the onset of many diseases. Recent scientific studies have increasingly proven this link. Thanks to the enteric nervous system, the gut can be compared to a second brain. This network contains over 100 million neurons and can function independently of the brain. The gut can make its own decisions. It can control digestion, release neurotransmitters like serotonin, responsible for happiness and well-being. About 90% of the serotonin in the body is produced by the gut. According to studies, communication between the gut and the brain occurs through the gut-brain axis. This is a bidirectional communication pathway linking the central nervous system to the gastrointestinal tract. This axis influences mood, behavior, and even psychological disorders like anxiety and depression. Researchers at Harvard University, for example, have shown that gut disorders like irritable bowel syndrome can be linked to emotional imbalances or mental health issues. The gut is the body's primary defense organ since it contains over 70% of immune cells. It is also responsible for fighting bacteria, viruses, and toxins. It regulates the gut flora, composed of billions of microorganisms known as the microbiota. An imbalance in the microbiota can lead to chronic diseases such as allergies and autoimmune diseases. Stanford University conducted a study showing that dysbiosis, or an imbalance in the gut microbiota, is linked to diseases like diabetes, obesity, and heart disease. Additionally, research published in the journal Nature showed that gut bacteria could influence the risk of developing neurodegenerative diseases like Alzheimer's. Dr. Irom Shina argues that chronic diseases can be caused by the putrefaction of food in the gut. This is particularly true when we consume too much meat and processed foods. According to him, these foods are slower to digest and, over time, begin to rot, releasing toxins into the bloodstream. These toxins can cause inflammation, overload the liver, and damage the kidneys. They affect the entire body. This theory is supported by a study conducted at the University of Illinois. It shows that consuming ultra-processed foods increases inflammation levels in the body. Inflammation can cause metabolic disorders, cancers, and cardiovascular diseases. It can affect brain health and contribute to neurodegenerative diseases. In addition to accumulating intestinal toxins, gut health is preserved by a diet rich in fiber, probiotics, and prebiotics. Whole foods like fruits, vegetables, and grains promote the growth and development of beneficial bacteria, while sugars and processed foods feed harmful bacteria that cause inflammation and food putrefaction. Dr. Shina emphasizes the importance of a healthy diet, rich in natural foods, to avoid the accumulation of toxic substances. Harvard University conducted a study revealing that people with a fiber-rich diet are less likely to develop inflammatory bowel diseases like Crohn's disease and ulcerative colitis. Regular consumption of probiotics will also strengthen your immune system and improve the intestinal barrier, preventing infections. It is impossible to deny the role the gut plays in health and disease. The gut is not just the center of digestion. It also plays a crucial role in the immune system, brain, and even chronic diseases. The first step to a long and healthy life is taking care of the gut. It can reduce the risk of 99% of diseases. Putrefying foods are the gut's worst enemies. We will explore the foods that can cause severe damage to our gut and putrefaction, backed by studies and research confirming this information. Red meat is a good source of iron, zinc, vitamin B12, and high-quality proteins. These elements are all essential for the body's proper functioning. Overconsumption can damage the gut. When consumed in large quantities, red meat can only be partially digested. The rest ferments in the large intestine and produces toxic compounds. Excessive red meat consumption can lead to intestinal putrefaction and toxic compounds that increase the risk of diseases like colorectal carcinoma. The Journal of Gastroenterology published a study showing that excessive meat consumption, especially when grilled at high temperatures, can increase carcinogenic heterocyclic amines and polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons. Many people have difficulty digesting high-fat dairy products like creams and yellow cheeses. This is particularly true for those with lactose intolerance. Poorly digested dairy products can cause gas, bloating, and abdominal discomfort. In some cases, they can even lead to putrefaction. According to a study published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition, consuming high-fat dairy products is linked to increased markers of intestinal inflammation. High-fat dairy products can also negatively affect the gut microbiota by promoting the growth of harmful bacteria that produce sulfides, ammonia, and other compounds. These ultra-processed foods like fast food, snacks, cookies, and sodas are high in trans fats and refined sugar. They are all harmful to your digestive system. These foods are deficient in fiber and essential nutrients for gut health. This can harm the microbiota balance. A study published in Gut demonstrated that ultra-processed diets are linked to decreased gut microbiota diversity and promote the growth of pathogenic bacteria. These foods also slow intestinal transit and promote putrefaction and inflammation of the intestines, such as Crohn's disease and ulcerative colitis. The main enemies of gut health are processed meats like sausages, salamis, hams, and cold cuts. These foods are not only high in sodium, fats, and saturated fats, but also undergo food preservation methods that use nitrites or nitrates. These substances can turn into carcinogenic compounds when consumed. The World Health Organization, WHO, has classified processed meats, particularly those linked to colorectal carcinoma, as carcinogenic. The Journal of the American Medical Association published a study showing that consuming processed meat increases the risk of developing intestinal cancer. Excessive consumption of refined sugar in the form of sweet cakes, sodas, and other industrialized products is harmful to your gut health. Refined sugar feeds harmful bacteria like Clostridium species. These produce toxic toxins and can damage the integrity of your intestinal barrier. This inflammation increases the risk of autoimmune diseases and other conditions like irritable bowel syndrome. A study from the University of California showed that high-sugar diets were associated with gut dysbiosis. This is characterized by a decrease in beneficial bacteria and an increase in bacteria that promote inflammation.